Welcome back. This week, a bipartisan group of Wisconsin legislators introduced a series of bills that would make it easier for DACA recipients to work and study here in Wisconsin. Now, that comes after a lengthy push by Democrats to extend things like Wisconsin driver's licenses to undocumented immigrants. Now, those efforts have traditionally failed, but this bipartisan legislation looks more likely to pass than previous efforts that we've seen. Joining us now to talk about how we got here is Daryl Moren of Deferred Latino. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah, so broadly, I'm curious, how does Wisconsin law treat DACA recipients differently than other Wisconsinites?
Well, and it's really, I don't want to just blame it on Wisconsin. It's something that's actually in the federal statute around DACA. The way DACA was written, it doesn't allow for a DACA recipient to receive any public benefit from the state unless it's explicitly stated in a piece of legislation. So unlike Illinois and Indiana right now, where DACA recipients can get professional licenses, that's not allowed here in Wisconsin. And because of that, we're seeing DACA recipients graduate from teaching colleges and nursing schools and literally have to pick up and move to Illinois so they could practice in their field.
So behind the scenes for this legislation, I'm sure it's been a long time coming for you especially. How did we get here?
Yeah, I think the biggest driver here has been the issue with workforce and the struggles that many companies throughout the state are facing right now. I think we all knew that we were going to see an aging out of the baby boomers and an increase in retirements, but COVID just kind of accelerated everything. So, previous projections said that around this time we were going to have a 45,000 person worker shortage in Wisconsin's workforce. And now I think recent reports are saying it's much more elevated because we're coming out of COVID right now. So everyone is just struggling to find the needing talent, and we have a whole group, thousands literally here. And if we could just unlock that potential, it would go a long way in easing the workforce issues we're having right now.
I was going to say, we talk a lot about those hiring needs in Wisconsin, and especially a brain drain and kind of a push-pull factor where you see efforts to retain people in Wisconsin, but also to attract new talent to the state. Do you have a sense of how this might help? Would it bring new people to Wisconsin?
Well, and I want to give the lead author, Representative John Macco, as well as Representative Sylvia Ortiz Velez credit for this. They put together this whole package of 3 bills. And to Representative Macco's credit, he said he wants to make Wisconsin a magnet for DACA recipients. So the bill does 3 things. One is it allows them to get professional licenses. Number 2 would allow them to get in-state tuition. Right now, DACA recipients aren't eligible for any state or federal financial aid, and we're requiring them to pay out-of-state tuition, creating this huge barrier. So we want to get these people who have the aspirations to be doctors and nurses and teachers, et cetera, into the pipeline, right? And then be able to give them a license once they're done. And lastly, and I think this is where they've gone the extra mile, every 2 years, DACA recipients have to renew, right? They have to do the full series of background checks again. They have to do the new fingerprints, the whole 9 yards, right? So they could renew their DACA status. But there's an expensive charge for that. So there's a small tax credit that they baked into a 3rd bill that would help offset that cost. Once again, trying to not only develop and retain DACA recipients here, but attract them from other states as well.
Curious too if you have a sense of just how many Wisconsinites might be impacted by this.
Well, we think everyone will be, right? Because we know that over like 95% of DACA recipients right now are gainfully employed or in school. Whenever they're allowed to get licenses, obviously their income goes up significantly, which means they can purchase more goods, more services, and pay more taxes. But in total, we're estimating that these bills would impact around 6,500 DACA recipients that we have here in the state right now.
And so I know this is part of a broader push. We talked earlier about those driver's licenses for undocumented immigrants. What more would you want to see accomplished after this?
Well, I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on the federal level, right? We've heard some people kind of confuse what we're trying to do here with immigration policy, and that's not the case. What we're looking at doing here is saying, hey, we have a set of individuals, thousands of individuals here that are just beginning their prime working age, that are legally able to work here, that can legally have a driver's license. Let's unlock their potential and bring them in. That being said, just like with what former Speaker Paul Ryan was trying to do, everybody knows that we need to fix our very broken immigration system and open more legal pathways so that people can can come here and help grow Wisconsin and our economy. So, there's a lot of work that still needs to be done on the federal level. But as so many Republicans I've been speaking to have said here, if the federal government can't get it done, let's at least do what we can here in our state to make sure that we bolster our economy and improve the quality of life for everyone.
Daryl, Moren, thanks so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.